Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. It is trade deadline day in the NFL. The deadline coming up at 3 p.m. Central Time. No moves yet for the Tennessee Titans to this point. Mike Vrabel will meet with the media coming up in just a few minutes, right at 1 p.m. Around the NFL, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Joshua Dobbs has been traded to the Minnesota Vikings. The former Titans QB will step in Minnesota after Kirk Cousins' season-ending Achilles injury. The Texas Rangers, after taking Game 3 of the World Series 3-1 last night, are at the Arizona Diamondbacks again tonight for Game 4. Rangers have a 2-1 series lead. First pitch is at 7 p.m. And the Nashville Predators on the road tonight at the Vancouver Canucks in a Western Conference matchup. Puck drop is at 9 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, everybody? Usually Mike Vrabel speaks during Buck Rising's show, but as a special Halloween trick or treat, we'll call it a treat. Maybe it's a trick to you. We go now live to Mike Vrabel, Titans head football coach.
Up and, we talked about what it is physically, but just the mental preparation that goes on to, a new opponent, new scheme, new players that they have to learn. So I think that's a challenge as well.
Is playing on a short week tough on rookies who probably never really did that in college?
Unless they played in the MAC, I don't know. I just, we're all trying to do the same thing. Is get ready to go for Thursday night.
In your time with him here, since he's been here, how quickly have you seen him be able to pick up stuff and learn stuff?
Who's that?
Will, sorry.
Well, he's been able to just take the installation as it came in the summer. Did a nice job with that, like whenever he got here in the spring, and probably some of that changes now during the season, just game plan specific wise. But I think he's been able to handle the volume of stuff that we put in.
I know Watt would be primarily on Nick coming from that side, but how is he maybe different or the same as Garrett in terms of what he brings and what you have to try to stop?
He's a talented player. He's long, he's athletic, he's instinctive, and we'll have to do a great job on the edges. Highsmith is explosive and fast and can rush upfield. He's got a good spin move, and so we'll have to make sure that those guys are accounted for and try to get hats on them and also get guys out in the route when we throw the football.
What's the challenge, I guess, for you, Mike, in a short week, trying to figure out what you can fit into the schedule, what you can take out, maybe what's most important in preparation?
Well, it's all about mental prep. We won't do anything with any sort of, tempo until tomorrow, really. It's all about getting, recovered as much as they can, move around a little bit, just still a walkthrough and try to get as many, mental reps in as that we can, and formations and breaking the huddle and working with the crowd noise and the environment of a Thursday night game in Pittsburgh.
How has McCrary been? I know he's dealing with the hamstring. How is he coming along?
Progressing, and he's working hard to get back out there, and might have a chance to play. We'll see. But Roger's been pretty durable and been pretty resilient, I think, since he's been here. So hopefully, he'll keep progressing.
What stood out watching Kenny Pickett this season? Have you seen progress from his rookie year?
Yeah, I think that there's ability to have command of the offense. Whether it's a no huddle, he's got good movement skills. He's got new weapon back here in Deontay Johnson, Pickens. I think he throws the deep ball. I think Kenny's got good composure. I looked at Baltimore and the way that they pressured him, and then the ability to come back, recognize it, hit a big play in that football game, and that's not an easy defense to go against. So for him to be able to, essentially have a mistake with a free blitzer and take a sack. He took care of the football, but then recognize it later on in the game and be able to go up top to Pickens.
What'd you think of Eric in relief of McCrary, and what could he carry over from that if you need him again this week?
I thought it was okay. Again, first action, some things that we need to fix, and but he wasn't the only one with defensive breakdowns. So I think Eric's had a great attitude since he's been here. He's been competitive. He's worked hard in preseason to get noticed. This is a tryout guy. This is a guy that didn't have, just was given the opportunity to come here and try out and earned a roster spot on the 90-man, and then through the preseason got a practice squad. So proud of what he's done, and we'll continue to work with him and see him catch some punts.
Mike, you mentioned being mentally prepared a bunch today. Where do you see your team mentally right now? Do you feel like there's a good momentum in the clubhouse, like this team has a new lease on life coming off the win?
I think so. I think that yesterday was good. It's tough. A day after the game and bringing them in at 12:30, and you never know what you're going to get. But we got out there, and by 4:30, I thought that there was great energy. I thought the guys were buying into the fact that it was Thursday in their minds and just trying to trick ourselves a little bit. So I was really pleasantly surprised about just the energy yesterday that we had just one day removed from the game.
Trade deadline was less than
First game back, Mike.
I'm sorry, guys.
What did you think of Traylon in his first game back? Was he kind of fully?
Yeah,
up
I had the opportunity. We're going to focus on Thursday night, and hopefully he can help us there. But just the recap was saved for yesterday. We got a short week, focused on Pittsburgh, and Traylon's got to help us, and maybe fix up some details that he can use on Thursday night.
Trade deadlines in less than 2 hours. Do you expect to stay quiet there, or no?
Wait, see what happens, and see if anybody calls. But as of now, there's no news to report.
Who's not practicing?
Not too many people. Ryan, Chris Moore is away on a not injury related. Roger will do a little bit. He'll be limited, but not too bad. Did you have another question? I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, you've had some success on his Thursday game. What's the biggest, you've talked mental and physical, but what's the biggest key, do you think, to just being ready?
Those are the two. You don't have much time to practice. You have to be realistic on what you can ask of the players. You got to get some buy-in from your veterans. The training room was packed yesterday, and after we walked through, it's crowded, and try to get a recovery lift. And we did striders yesterday to try to get things moving, and so it's about the players buying in to believing that it's Thursday and that we're playing Sunday night.
Chris will be back here.
Yeah, Chris will be back. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, it was quick and a surgical entry and exit by Mike Vrabel today. Not a lot to say about anything. He said it's looking like Will Levis on Thursday. He doesn't see Tannehill being able to do much. Says Roger McCreary is progressing. He said he might have a chance. No news to report on the trade deadline, which Blaine and I were sitting here with the mics off, and Blaine said, that doesn't mean they're not getting calls. It just means no deals, so it's nothing to report. Chris Moore out right now for doing some personal stuff. Easiest way to say it, says he won't practice today, but I guess he ended and said he's fine to play. Ryan Tannehill, again, not looking good. And I think he kind of said Roger will do something today. So oddly enough, not a lot of health stuff to report. That's good, especially on a short week when you play and then you play again, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days later.
Maybe it was because of the opponent. Maybe the Falcons weren't physical. Maybe they're more of a finesse team than a physical team. But, that's always great news, especially in a short week. But guys are still, nicked up, banged up, so they're trying to recover as quickly as possible, where he said everybody's in the training room. So it's always a good sign. They're trying to get to the level where they can peak on Thursday. So, yeah. Awesome news, man. Will Levis will be the dude. I expected in a short week.
I went back and looked. You and I talk about this sometimes. You'll say, I saw it on the TV copy. And for people who don't know what that means, it means like when you're watching TV, you see the game the way it's shot. And if they want to show you a close-up of something, they do. If they don't, they don't. You just get whatever the camera angles are. But there's the all 22. Well, Chase Daniel, the NFL quarterback for all those years who made millions and
Yeah, I think he made over $70 million.
it's incredible. He's my spirit animal. This dude, actually, my guy's Ryan Griffin, who threw 4 passes in his career and played 8 years in the
the guy with Tampa Bay?
Yes. Yeah, that's my guy.
Is he still there?
No, it finally ended. He finally woke up from his dream. He's truly my spirit animal. But Chase Daniel does these YouTube breakdowns with the All-22. The Will Levis was fascinating to me.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I tweeted the link. I'll have to send it to you. He just took some key plays, some that didn't work and some that did. But there were a couple times where it's like, look, man, he can do this. He knows his own arm strength so well. Where he threw the long one to NWI where he was basically bracketed. He was completely covered.
The touchdown?
No.
No, I was going to say he wasn't.
It was a long pass where he basically had a corner and a safety on either side of him, and Levis threw it from like the 45 to the goal line. It was an incomplete, but there was a check down that was wide open. A couple times he said, look, he can make all these throws. There's a check down right there. There were 2 times where he could have easily gotten first down, but he just thought, I can do this. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, he was feeling it. He let it fly.
He was feeling it. And both times he said, look, man, I don't have a problem with him doing it. He said, I think what he'll see on the film is, though, this was a lower percentage throw, even though I can throw it as hard and as far as I want to. But if I just threw to the tight end here, he can run for 17 yards.
And get a first down.
Yes. So, to me, that may be the most exciting thing about Levis.
Which is typically the opposite, Mickey. That's why he brought that up.
Yep.
It's usually they want to throw the check down,
Yes.
the shorter pass, instead of making a mistake and trying to zip it in. That shows you, as he mentioned, his confidence in his arm ability, his arm talent. We all saw that in training camp. His arm talent is off the charts. I mean, it's better than anybody on the team. Now, that doesn't mean you're the better player.
Yeah.
And with no experience, and now he's getting some experience, we get to see he's a cool customer and he believes in his talent. And he'll try to make some throws that maybe sometimes not. And that could lead to a mistake. That's what he's getting to, especially against a defense like the Steelers.
Yep.
Who have great pass rushers, and he won't be sitting back there, baking a pancake. And, they got some good DBs. I'm glad Mika's not playing because he's one of the better safeties in the league.
Always seems to be where the ball is.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of that Troy Polamalu in him where the ball is somewhere and he's the same place where the ball is and he winds up with the ball in his hands.
So that was exciting, man, to hear him go through that. Now, anything else that he mentioned, Chase Daniels, about Will Levis?
Yes. On the touchdown to NWI.
Okay, yeah, cross-body throw.
He says, first of all, it's not even human, the throw that he makes,
I tried to
because he
tell you.
rolls to his right.
Yeah, I tell you.
And he said-
and then he flicked his wrist, and that thing just took off.
And he was pressured. There were people hitting, like right there. He said, so first of all, like,
strong.
for him to know he could do it and to do it, he said, here's the other thing. NWI flattened his route out about the 8-yard line or 10, wherever it was. And he said Levis threw it beyond him to make
So he had
him
to adjust.
He threw him open into the end zone. And
Well,
then-
I think he was open, but he threw it to a spot that only he could get it.
yes.
Yeah.
So I strongly recommend it's 7 or 8 minutes. And for people who maybe you're not just the greatest football mind like me, so it helps to hear Blaine say it or to see Chase Daniel write it all down. It's fantastic stuff.
Well, I talked about the same thing. He threw that throw.
Yes.
Because remember, I talked about this in my experience. They said, oh, no, quarterbacks can't do it. Elway did it for 70 on me. And they caught it for a touchdown my rookie year. Said, oh, if he rolls to the right, he'll never throw the other side in the end zone on a deep ball. I came to the sideline and the coach said, oh, my bad. No, my bad. I got beat for a touchdown, bro.
Because I listened to you.
Yeah, because you told me that he couldn't do that. Yeah, and guess what? The Falcons had no idea because they had no film. We had film on Elway. I mean, come on, man. This guy, he had a rocket launch of an arm. And Levis, man, those throws are pretty impressive, for him to do that, especially in his first start in the NFL. So I'm interested to see if that gets curtailed a little bit, but hopefully he still plays freely and is a little bit smarter along the way against some better defenses. You can say Atlanta's defense was solid, because they ranked on, total points, top 10 and everything else, but that is nothing like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. As I've watched them, they went back and forth with the Cleveland Browns defense, and they outplayed their defense. So that's what we're dealing with on Thursday night. And Levis is going to get hit, and we're going to see if he's going to try to force things and try to believe in his arm talent again and may have to make a mistake. And one mistake in this game, I think, could cost him win or loss because their offense is kind of putting along too, the Steelers. And their defense is always going to be stellar. So, especially at home at night, that place is rocking.
Yeah.
It's going to be rocking. So, it'll be interesting to see. I think he relishes the moment. He likes the big moments based off what he did there. So, we'll see if he rises even to another level, which I believe he may.
Let's do this. We'll take a quick break. The coordinators are speaking. This is the last time any of the coaches will be heard from this week. Craig Ackerman usually goes second, and then we hear from the OC and the DC. Let's take a quick break, come back, check in on the assistant coaches, and hear what they've got to say. Maybe we can get some more on Will Levis from his offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly, next.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop, and I'm excited to tell you about Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or as you may know them as TOA. And TOA has 29 locations, over 100 orthopedic physicians throughout Middle and East Tennessee to take care of all your musculoskeletal needs. In addition to their orthopedic clinics and urgent care facilities, TOA offers physical therapy, hand therapy, and sports performance training for teams and individuals at their sports performance centers. And as a former professional athlete, I know how important access to expert orthopedic care is. Whether you're an athlete, active adult, or just looking to get back to living your best life, you can visit TOA online at TOA.com, or you can call them at 1-855-NEED TOA. That's 1-855-NEED TOA.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5, The Zone. So Titans coordinator speaking, Tim Kelly, right now. Let's check in on him for a couple minutes. It'll be the last time we hear from the Titans coaches this week before the Pittsburgh game. Offensive coordinator Tim Kelly, live.
A whole team effort to make sure that we're neutralizing those two players.
That vertical passing aspect, very successful in the game, obviously. And coming in, Levis knew how to do that. But how much did that show in the practice squad, not practice squad, the scout team reps and things that he was doing?
Yeah, I mean, we evaluate every rep, and our position coaches do a great job of being able to go and watch that tape with our guys to make sure that they're consistently not only being evaluated but being coached and improving. Because when your number's called, you got to be ready, and those are valuable reps that our guys do a really good job of taking advantage of, and Will's no different.
Was his ability seemingly to process information quickly once the ball was snapped, and how much did that help the protection and also help the receivers to be able to get open and make plays?
Yeah, I think our line did a great job of keeping them clean for the most part. They were inside out. They were able to give him a clean pocket and made sure that he felt comfortable in there. So, hats off to our guys up front and being able to go and keep them clean and allow them to get comfortable.
What do you say to Malik to kind of keep him engaged and with the plan?
Yeah, I mean, he's close to being on the field, you know what I mean? So he's got to prepare as if he's a starter. The message to him is no different than it is to anybody else in the locker room. So he's got to continue to do a good job of preparing like he's a starter and make sure that when his number's called, he's able to go in there and play well. Good. One more, go ahead.
Really big arm, able to make those off-platform throws. Are you able to do stuff with how deep of a drop back he takes out of play action and certain stuff?
That gets tricky because that changes the launch point, and now you're putting those. You're really stressing the tackles when you start to really try to deepen up the drop. So try to not really change anything for him because we want those guys up front to be as comfortable as possible. Cool. Thank you, guys.
So that's Titans offensive coordinator Tim Kelly. Caught the very end of that after the commercial break. Shane Bowen should be up momentarily. We can also check in on him. Tim Kelly talking about something you had mentioned on Monday.
Yeah, with Sam Phelan. Yeah, I asked him, did it look like he was, having drops a little bit deeper?
Yep.
OC Kelly said not necessarily because it makes it tougher for the offensive lineman to hold protection. It probably opens up the windows. He might have been dropping back deep. Maybe it was just him and then sliding up. I just felt like it was. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because they were throwing deep so often. That's another question. Was that in the game plan to attack the Falcons deep as much as they did? They usually have some plays dialed up, but usually that's just like one or two. But I just felt like they took shots all day long, man, which, for being a former defensive back in the league, it's that's always a threat that they can score. So you'll never ease up there to get Derrick Henry. I thought it was interesting. The offense looked, I wouldn't say not dynamic, but it looked explosive. We hadn't seen that out of this offense in a long time, and so that's what was so exciting to see. Let alone it was Will Levis leading the charge with his accuracy in his throws, so especially those deep balls. So yeah, and you can't throw all deep balls. So we're gonna see if he can throw some shorter passes, which I thought he did a good job. Some intermediate passes like the curls, the outs,
right.
The ends. I think he can do them all. He's did it sporadically in this game, but want to see if he can do it consistently because I think the Steelers are gonna put some heat on him. That's typically what happens in a game like this. Short notice, let's get after the quarterback, make him feel uncomfortable to see what he can do under duress. So they got two guys on the outside, one for sure, TJ Watt, but the Highsmith guy, he's pretty freaking good too. I think he's against the Browns. I think he got did he get the pick six or that was Watt? No, or he picked up the fumble and ran it in for a touchdown. They both scored that game, I think. I was just like, oh my gosh, we got to play them. He's going to get indoctrinated to a real serious defense. And Atlanta's defense is just good. This is a really good defense. And I saw Porter, by the way, Jr. is now going to be implemented as a starter. So I'm sure that's to go against D-Hop. See where he stands. Tall, long guy, about 6'2", to go against all that size and height and length that D-Hop has. Let alone Burks is big, too, for a receiver. Tall.
Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah, both of those guys are big targets. And D-Hop, just his hands and his arms, and on the shorter touchdown pass.
Yeah, the crossing route that he threw behind him, you saw he caught that ball. In stride now, by the way, he was going full speed.
Never slowed down.
I couldn't believe that. Oh, that's why I play DB. I would have dropped that all day. I would have got one hand on it, though, but I wouldn't have caught it.
Because
he just turned his body and just kept running. The body was running one way, and his hands reached back a different way. People have no idea when you're going, he might have been going at that, 19 miles an hour, and then you're reaching back, plucking the ball out like that. It's tough. And then when he caught it, turned upfield, and then did the spin
move.
Oh, like it was nothing. I'm like, whoa, for a guy of his size to do something like that, that was pretty impressive. I think even D-Hop would say, I'm back.
That whole thing with D-Hop with the ball in his hands in the red zone, because that was from 17, 18-yard line. So that's not lower red. You had a little bit of room, but run him underneath. Yeah. His ability, because like you said when they got him, look, his whole thing isn't to jump over people or to outrun people. Quickness, short area, but not to run down the field. Mm-hmm. It's get the ball in his hands. He's a possession receiver. He's a combat catcher, like Coach Mack said, maybe the best that there was. But the other thing is just his ability to run with the ball and make people miss.
Yeah.
The guy at the goal line had him dead to rights. He just spun him out of his shoes.
Yeah. And, that's what's so impressive about him when I studied him and, how he was so different than Julio Jones is that he can make people miss. Like, he was elusive for a tall guy once he got the ball. And then he was great at route running. So, you watch a guy and you see the highlights and everything, but when you start studying them and saying, hey, man, this is what the guy brings to the table, I thought, this was the right choice at that time, and I'm still buying into that. So, and he's finally getting to show it. It was funny. It was just with a rookie quarterback. It would have been maybe the same if whoever was at quarterback long, they was getting him the ball. But, hey, man, hats off to him, man. He looks like the same D-Hop we saw on tape in the previous years with the Texans and Arizona.
Pretty crazy to think about, too, because people have all these scars from older receivers that the Titans tried to get. And as you point out about D-Hop, look, this is not a guy who's lost a step. He's the same guy.
Yeah. His game travels. It can go a long way. It goes past 30. It's just the way it's set up. And then, he's up there beating people deep, too. I know it was a double move, but he still beat him. And the other one wasn't a double move. The first one now, he grabbed the guy and pulled himself forward, but they didn't call it. Yeah. And you know why that's set up, why they didn't? Because he's a physical receiver and he likes the contact. And so they're going, hey, y'all were back and forth. It was even level, playing field here. And unfortunately, he got the last laugh and they didn't call anything.
What about?
I was worried about he stepped out of bounds. But
I was too. What about just the balls on the rookie to go, that's D-Hop. I'm just going to throw it down there. I'm going to give him a chance. Because he was tied up. When Levis threw the ball, it wasn't like the 61-yarder where he did the sluggo and had the safety pulled in and just ran past everybody. He was tied up with the guy.
Well, that's what's so remarkable about Will Levis in his first start. The trust that he had in not just D-Hop, all of his receivers. Putting the ball on the money, that is very rare. I mean, to do all that, that's why it made me start thinking him observing, not playing, and being the third-string quarterback and what he needed to do in his mind. There's a mental side to this to make sure when he got on the field, he was ready to rock and roll, and he got to say, I'm going to let this fly. And sometimes he was on his back, so he didn't even see the completion. And to do that as a rookie is pretty impressive. So, we've got our franchise quarterback now. I don't care what he does in this game, if he plays bad or middle of the road, what have you. We saw what he brings to the table. Now we got to see if he can do it on a consistent basis. And to do that, you have to face all these different defenses and all these different hurdles and failures to make sure that he can handle it. Because last game was all success, right? So we still don't know how he will respond to failing or throwing a pick six. Hopefully those things don't happen. Or if he fumbles. Or if he makes a ding-dongery type play, like, I'm trying to make something out of nothing, and I'm getting hit, and I'm falling down. I'm going to throw it to, the player right here to his feet, and then he throws a pick.
Right, because I got this cannon. I can make it work.
I can make it work. I can make it happen. And that shows Now, there's one thing he can backfire. He believes in his talent. He knows he's good. Those are all great. He's confident. But sometimes confidence can lead you down a bad road, especially when you're a young player. You haven't seen everything. So I'm hoping in a good way that we get to see with a little adversity in a game how he handles it. And you're going to see all those yellow towels waving. He's going to see that this is a little different.
It's going to be definitely loud. Like you said, the towels. So everything around him is going to be moving from all the waving. You know, the one thing about, let's say if you played at Michigan or you played at Tennessee or Alabama or somewhere, a big school, you've played in front of big crowds at night a lot because big schools play at night on TV. So you have at least, he's played in front of some very hostile atmospheres in his life, you know.
Yeah. And you could say bigger crowds even because the NFL uses around the 70,000. You know, he may have been in front of 100,000.
Right.
Especially if he played against Tennessee or, all these big schools. But it's not the same intensity level of the players that he's facing. You're talking about the best of the best.
Yeah.
So things are moving a lot faster, especially against a defense that moves and disguises and sets you up. And he, trust me, hasn't seen it all. I'm going to say this. The Falcons' defense is vanilla compared to what the Steelers do and how they disguise and what they do in that 3-4 scheme and who's coming, who's not. If his zone drops or his man, I mean, it's going to be interesting if he, filters through all of that. And I think he will because they talk about how much he studies the plays and the film and all those things because you can't have success without putting in the work like that, regardless of your talent.
Right.
I'm sorry. So we'll see if he can handle it. This is the toughest of the test right here, not only just because it's the Steelers, but because of the short window of time to turn over to prepare for the next game.
Well, and Levis, too, even in that game, there were times you saw him can.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point,
we could hear him say can. That was funny, wasn't it?
At one point, he sets up behind the center and he takes Spears, moves him to the other side. He like you said, he ran the offense, but he had some pre-snap.
He took total control.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was impressive. He was veteran-esque out there. Like there was, so when people start off that way, you think that he will be calm under the pressure. Mm-hmm. He will be. And if he does panic, it won't show. So yeah, I'm anxious to see it. And Titans fans, they should be super excited. Super excited just about what they saw and then continue on and whether it's good or bad, what this guy can do from this point forward. And I think he just needs to get the reps. That's why I said there's no turning back. And I know Vrabel has to say certain things, whether because it's trade deadline or, because Tannehill may be just a backup and he want to support him because he's been this guy the whole time.
Right.
And I get it. But at this point in time, he starts 3-4 games and does a solid job, whether they win or lose, based off what the coaches think. I think you just don't turn back and you make Tannehill the backup. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just imagine this. Then you work on making Tannehill the backup for next year under a backup contract. I don't know. Who knows? Because guess what? You're not paying Willis a lot of money.
Right.
Not NFL money. $40 million, $30 million, $52 million.
Yeah.
That's what these guys, if you start in this league and you go into your last year contract, $50 million. Man, that's crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see that.
And that's the going rate now for the best of the best.
Yep.
And
I'm not saying he's going to get there, but just saying, it's going to be from, about time his contract's at 40 plus.
You know this too, Blaine. Levis is a second-round pick, so you only get 4 years with him. There's no option year.
Yeah.
So what if this dude finishes this year, then next year he's the starter and he plays great, and then in the third year he starts balling out?
You start negotiating that contract.
You pull the Andy Reid, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's go ahead and let's don't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make this a nice deal for everybody.
And you got all the salary cap space. So those 3 years running to that time, now the team is built up, ready to blast off.
Yep.
Right when that stadium opens. Revisionist history right there, Mickey. Right when the Titans stadium opened, we went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I think it's going to happen again.
Well, they're going to get a Super Bowl in that stadium
3 years
too,
from now,
point.
I can't imagine where his confidence level and his ability to play in this league will be.
Yep.
It'll be, oh, man. Oof. I had to will him back. Dude, I can make every throw. No, don't make that throw. You just threw a pick. Oh, that guy didn't look around on time. He's going to be able to say, I can fit it in any window by that time.
I told you watching that Chase Daniel breakdown, he's like, look, man, there's a guy just standing. He showed one play Where he
Right
said-
there, right in front of him, where he could have thrown right across the middle, guy wide open,
Yes,
guaranteed.
there was no one else in the picture. He said this particular defense that the Steelers are playing, they're sending 5. If they send 5, middle field's open. There's nobody in the middle field, but there's one guy in an Oilers uniform, like, I don't know if it was Chig or who it was, just standing out there. And that's when he threw deep, way, way down the field. He said he's going to learn, like, just take the first down. He can make all those throws, but sometimes just drop it right down to that guy. That's a 10-yard throw and probably another 10, 12, 15 yards before anybody ever even gets to him.
Hey, I'm going to say this. The elite do exactly what he did when they first got to start. I'm going to use like Brett Favre, Dan Marino, all these dudes. Oh, I'm going for the home run. I'm going for the home run. That's what I'm talking about. His level of confidence in his ability, it could hurt him at some point in time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he know I can make that throw all day right there. I can do that in my sleep.
Well, he hit 3 of them. He hit 3 home runs. He missed Burks just slightly out of bounds on the one throw.
That was, I can't say he missed you talking about the Burks, the one that Burks got defended up? Nah, that's not a miss. That was, remember I told you, I thought that was
That's
the best
throw he made because he was to the right and threw to the left again.
Oh, my gosh. On a 7 route.
All right. There's trade stuff going on. Titans coordinator still speaking. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll try to check in on that. We'll get you updated on all the trades. There are things happening. Jags got a lineman. Josh Dobbs on the move. There's lots of stuff going on. We'll keep you updated throughout this 2-hour extravaganza.
Got me jacked.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Titans down there trying to get some work done. The other coordinators haven't even spoken yet. They're in a meeting. I'm just looking at this video on my phone, and it's just showing a picture of Craig Ackerman.
Oh.
Meanwhile, I guess the 49ers were looking at a picture of Chase Young, and they decided they couldn't live without him.
Because he was ripped?
He is ripped. His arms are the size of legs in this picture of him. Ian Rappaport says he is being traded to the 49ers.
Ian Rappaport.
For a likely mid-round pick. What does that mean? 4 or 5?
I think it was a third.
A third?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
I don't call a third a mid-round.
What was that? What was that movie? Like the like machine or thing that was killing people, like, and it had the hair hanging out, but you couldn't see his face, like he had a mask on.
Predator.
Yeah. I couldn't think of it.
Boy,
that's what I used to call Chase Young that in college at Ohio State, because that's what he looked like. Because his hair was real long then. He was just dominating. Not so much after tearing his ACL, but boy, this is a year after that, so I'm sure he's going to be up to speed for sure at this time and here throughout. They traded both their ends.
Montez Sweat to Chicago for a second-round pick. That was early this morning.
And you only got a third for him?
Joseph Bonanno is reporting that. Yeah, a third. Dobbs went to the Vikings for a 7th that can become a 6.
Have we already eclipsed the number of trades that were last year at this time?
No. It's so funny you'd ask that.
What was it, like 11?
It's 13.
Oh,
you close. That's a great guess. Some years it's 2 or 3. Last year was 13.
Dang.
So nothing had happened here by lunchtime, with the exception of what yesterday, Joseph, Leonard Williams to Seattle for a 2nd and a 5th in 24 and 25. The Eagles traded defensive tackle Kentavious Street and a 2025 7th rounder to Atlanta for a 6th. Chicago this morning made the trade for Montez Sweat for a 2nd. Josh Dobbs to the Vikings, like I said, for a 2nd that becomes 6. Ezra Cleveland, who's an offensive lineman from Minnesota, one less guy to protect Dobbs, sending him to what's the problem for the Jags that people said? Offensive line. So they're trying to bolster it.
Hey.
Trying to strengthen that old line. And then Chase Young to San Francisco, that just happened.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at this 49ers defensive depth chart.
Don't look at it. It's going to – you can't look at that, man.
They're going for it. They're going for it right now. They're going for it.
Adding Chase Young to this is just so unfair.
Because then, his contract's going to be up. How are they going to pay him? They're going to pay him, and Bosa just got paid, so –
Well, Bosa just got paid.
Yeah.
Well, you know why they're doing it? Because I know Bosa got paid, but now they got to pay Young.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, his contract is up in another year and a half or whatever it is. Yeah.
Boy, this just seems like regardless of what happens.
Brock Purdy is in his rookie deal.
Everybody can make more money. Ask the Eagles about that.
But he was 7th round, so his deal is only 2 years.
No, it's 4.
No, it's 4?
Yeah.
Oh, they still do 4
only if you get
last
cut.
Round?
Yep. If you get cut and come back, like, let's say the Titans took a guy in the 7th and they cut him and they signed him back, it'd probably be like a 2-year deal. If you keep your original contract, it's 4.
Look that up there. Yeah, look that up. I don't know. He may be what they call restricted, where he can't go anywhere. Kind of like, I'm going to say this as an example. Not a quarterback, Tier Tart. Remember, he's been in the league, and then because he was undrafted, so he only had a 2-year contract. Then he signed another 1 year because of he was restricted. Now, a little different than Brock Purdy got drafted in the last pick. Everybody knows, or, the draft. So I don't know if that still holds true for those guys in the later round. I was a late round, just like Purdy, and that was the way it is. I know things have changed with the new CBA, but theoretically, he still won't be a free agent, and you're saying for 4 years.
Yeah, it's a 4-year deal. His free agency comes in 2026.
Yeah,
he'll be an unrestricted free agent then. That's per overthecap.com.
So that's why they got time to spend money. They're going for it, man.
Yep. Titan Husker said the he said Commanders, didn't exercise the 5th-year option on the Predator. Yeah.
The Predator, yeah. Yeah. Well, and also, we must not forget the Command Skins, as Mickey says.
Mm-hmm.
New ownership. I don't know the head guy's name. I naturally know Magic Johnson. Everybody know who that is, right?
Yeah.
And they're just shipping out. So, my man, Riverboat Ron, sayonara.
Next to go. Yeah.
Sayonara. Because this is definitely like we cleaning house and we about to make things happen. I don't know if they're trying to put me in I don't know what's going on, but they're pretty, they're in games now. I mean, they took the Eagles to the end.
Sure.
Who's favored to win the Super Bowl and make it to the NFC Championship at worst. So, they're making moves. They clean house. Remember that guy went off? That D tackle I think it was from Alabama? I'm tired of this.
Oh, yeah.
Effing stuff.
Yes. Just said it.
He was talking about
calm.
losing.
Yeah.
Well, but he was
I've had
scary with
enough.
it, though. Yeah, that was, wow. Oh, man. Trade deadline, man. It's always exciting because not always a lot of news on trades in the NFL.
Minnesota's made 2 deals, one to get a guy, and then gets rid of a guy on the offensive line. The command skin's basically saying, we can't afford to re-sign any of these D linemen. Just let them all go.
Instead of not getting anything.
Yep.
See?
So that's why, even for Titans fans, I might be a tad nervous about a couple, maybe defenders. Now, I'm not nervous about Derrick Henry anymore. There's a report out of Baltimore. You showed me this, and we sat down. You some dude with 13,000 Twitter followers with connections to the Ravens said the Titans aren't going to trade Derrick Henry. There was interest between the Ravens and the Titans, but the owner of the Titans said no.
Yeah, the ownership group, yeah.
No.
And they said that was false. Somebody, I don't know where he got that information, but they said that's not true. But I'm nervous about, I'm still going to be nervous till it's over with. Really, to the trade deadline passes, because you just never know. Because some teams wait to the last minute and then say, this is our final offer, and it could be a good offer.
Right.
And you go, I think, let me call you right back. That could always happen. So you just never know. I hope it doesn't, but you just never know. I don't think any trade is going to happen with the Titans, in my personal opinion, but unpredictable. No insight on that anyway.
I was trying to. The internet here has, I guess, shut down. I can't get anything
It's
to
failed
open.
you?
It has failed.
Your brain failed you.
Do not. No, my brain failed me years
the
ago.
internet brain.
Well, no, you were right the first time, Lee. My actual brain has failed me. Nothing will open anywhere. I was trying to see what Brock Purdy's actual cap hits were, because somebody in the F&M Bank chat said, yeah, man, that $750K cap hit is wild for your starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Yeah, I think it's around. I'm gonna make a guess, 900. And I'm only thinking about because he's his signing bonus or whatever he got it to. That probably was, some low figure 6-digit number. I don't know what they get in the 7th round these days, but it's kind of crazy. It just reminds me of how things have changed in inflation and they've increased contracts. My signing bonus being a 214th pick. What do you think it was?
Like 40,000.
Joseph?
I think we've talked about this. 25,000? No. Yeah.
I think Joseph hit the ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Yeah. See that? Woo. After taxes, I think it was between 11 and 14. I can't recall.
Gosh.
I can't remember, but I was just like, this is not no money.
This is pro football, right?
Yeah, then that's when I said, I got to find somebody to live with so I can just pay like $300 a month or something, because I may get cut.
Oh, man.
And so, hence, Brad Hopkins to the rescue.
Live in my guest room, little buddy.
Yeah, so yeah, he definitely let me freeload there with the first round pick in the same draft. And then
his bonus was just slightly bigger.
Yeah, it was just it had a 1 and then a point and then a 7. I was like, whoo. Dang, I hope I can get to that one year.
Brock Purdy's cap hit, 724, 889, pretty much an even million, and then 1.1 million over the span of 4 years. That's what they look like.
Oh, so what is the cap hit? I'm sorry, I missed it.
This year it's 889.
Oh, I was close. I said 900.
That's 900.
Oh.
Next year it's $1 million, and then the next year it's 1.1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Coordinators are still set to speak. We'll check in on them. All the latest on the trade deadline. Coach Mack coming up in about 25 minutes. It is a big hour, too, coming up on Blaine and Mickey.
I think he's in the bathroom. Now that fall is here, that doesn't necessarily mean your to-do list is. The Cool Ray team is here to help, and they'll waive your service fee if your visit requires a repair. So if you're having a plumbing problem that popped up out of nowhere, well, their plumbing team has you covered. Have an electrical issue you've been putting off? The electrical team at Cool Ray can be there for you. And of course, if you have an HVAC unit to start to struggle, then you can repair that all while waiving the service fee. And you can still save up to $1,250 on brand new Timstar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost a 10-year parts and labor warranty on new Timstar home comfort systems. So schedule your next visit online at coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's coolray.com.
Blaine and Mickey, 1045 The Zone. All right. It's 2:02 on trade deadline day. All this stuff's got to be officially officiated by 3 o'clock today. So up until the end of this show, we'll tell you everything that's going on with the trade deadline. So far, there's nothing about the Titans. No Titans-related news. No nothing official from anybody. Mike Vrabel said just earlier today, no news to report on the trade deadline. He was asked about it during his availability. I think they just bailed on two of the coordinators because Vrabel spoke, and then Tim Kelly spoke, and then nobody else ever spoke, and now the reporters are all just tweeting out stuff from the locker room. They may have just said, sorry, Ackerman's going and he's going to watch some people punt or something. And
he got to finish the game.
Shane Bowen, man, he got to figure out.
Watch this. What get people in the history? They knew a trade's about to happen, so they didn't want to be on there. Ooh. Or it could be that. Or not.
I thought that was the breaking news you hit us for.
That's your conspiracy theory.
That's right. That's nice. I like it.
Here's the latest. Okay, if you just got in the car, you wonder who's going what. So Jeremy Fowler 3 minutes ago reported Browns are trading wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Lions.
Ooh.
Lions got a hard-fought win last night against the Ravens. That was some big hits in that game. Raiders.
Gibbs. Oh, my.
He looks.
He is
He's the load, that guy. Yep. They knew what was coming and couldn't stop it.
They got people. Oh, man. I always see Khalif Raymond. And
Tiny Khalif got hit so hard last night.
Yeah, I saw him on a return.
He was running one way, and then he went completely the opposite way.
He turned around straight backwards.
I thought,
boom,
he's going to jump right up. And he did. But then I thought, I hope he jumps right up because he got blasted.
Yeah, he kind of put his head down, too, and they ran by like two Rams running at each other, and he went the other way. Kind of did a flip back.
Yeah, Tiny Khalif is about my size.
But he's tough, though, man.
He's tough.
He put on some muscle, and he looks good, man. He's a staple there. So Reynolds, too, right?
So he's still a punt returner. And then he's a receiver in their rotation, not some gimmick guy that they scheme up something because he's a fast guy. No, he's in the rotation. Josh Reynolds, too.
Yeah.
I saw Reynolds kind of block somebody at one point on one of those run plays that they did in their blue helmets last night.
It's hard not to cheer for Detroit to do well because they've been bad for so long. So I'm like, oh, man, I want them to do well.
Well, also, again, this is something I learned from you and Dyson. It's like, look, man, anytime an NFC plays an AFC team, root against the AFC team. They need losses. Doesn't matter if they're in a different division. The Raiders, they needed to lose. Raiders were same record as the Titans till they lost last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, if you're a Titans fan, you got to know where to root and where not to root. So the Lions are a good story, but they did you a solid because the Raiders have kind of been hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
But
Garoppolo missed Devontae Adams multiple times, and he dropped one, but it was just a curl route or dig or something. Slant. It was a slant. He missed him 2 times wide open, and he threw it. He overthrew him. When he threw out of bounds, he was wide open. Oh, you should have saw Devontae.
After the game, he was.
He was like, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, he said.
I bet his agent has called the Raiders 100 times today, like, get us out of here.
Oh, he showed some frustration, too, on the sideline. He took his helmet off and was like, mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he caught one ball?
One ball for 11 yards. I think he had 6 targets.
2 of them, he was wide the freak open for a touchdown.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm not even going to talk about the one, Garoppolo. Horrible throw. He was open in the end zone. All he had to do was drop it in the bucket. He had the guy beat. He threw it inside. Safety jumps up, picks it. And that was another target that he should have caught a touch. He should have had 3 touchdowns in this game. Any quarterback. Now, I got to give Garoppolo this. He showed some toughness. Now, he got hit one time on his leg. I thought, uh-oh.
Right in the knee.
Yeah. I thought he wasn't. I thought he was going to say, nah, that's enough for me. Because he had already been out a couple games with a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, that guy hit him dead. I was like, I thought it was borderline penalty. Because he could have hit him anywhere.
It was Hutchinson. Yeah.
Was it? Or was it 34? I don't know who it was.
Anzalone. That may have been Anzalone, actually. It was one of the guys with long hair.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Who looks like Thor.
And he got 2 sacks the next 2 drives after that. Dang, they can't block this guy.
They hit Garoppolo like the Titans hit Desmond Ridder on Sunday, just without malice. They just unleashed the fury on him.
Now, what do you think about Ritter and this concussion deal? Do you think they just benched him, or did he have I never saw him go in a tent.
I got a feeling the Falcons are going to get fined because this is twice now where people don't know any. So the thing they did the week before with the running back, where it's like, well, he didn't play, but he had a headache. We didn't tell nobody, but he did play. And then the whole thing with Ritter seemed kind of mysterious. I mean,
Because they come out at halftime.
Yeah.
So they found out he was concussed at half? Like he was a little woozy?
How many fingers are we holding up? Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but guys can get around all that. Now they had a tent though, so it's kind of tough to have somebody stand next to you and just tap you. How many fingers they got up? Tap you on your back shoulder.
And in your day, as long as you were close, I don't know, 5, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. I'll be able to see you next time we up. Make sure they don't go 3 and out.
You basically had to be knocked silly in your day before they'd be like, yeah, let's take him out.
Nah, they had stuff in place. It was not bad. Much better today, but it wasn't as bad as I wasn't back in the olden days in the 80s and 70s, boy. It was those tough son of a guns, man. Good Lord. Man.
Tyler said the Ritter thing was confusing. I didn't know he was concussed until we were leaving the stadium. I just thought they benched him.
Yeah, because that's what it looked like. And especially the way Heineke came in there and just started waylaying. There go all the trades going on here. So it's 5 of them right now.
Brent Doherty, it reports on our text messages just now. The TV crew said he went in the concussion protocol, but he was cleared. He just didn't play because of coach's decision.
Oh.
So they just said, sorry, man.
And then both Arthur Smith and Taylor Heineke after the game said that Desmond Ritter is our starter.
Yeah. I like Heineke. If I needed a backup quarterback, I'd sign Heineke without even thinking about it. If I needed a backup quarterback, I can't believe the Command Skins just let him walk.
Man.
His teammates rallied and played hard for him. Look what he did on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, man.
He got rid of the
he's
ball.
One of those guys you root for, though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had the ball in their hands with a chance to do something at the end of the game.
Look, there go that pick. See, he wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy G
Heineke's
pick on TV.
It's kind of like the modern day Chase Daniels.
Yeah.
May not be making a salary quite yet, but boy, every time he gets in there, man, I kind of root for him to do well. Because every time he gets in, he's got this spunk about him. Like, man, what do I got to lose? He just be throwing balls all over the place. And you saw if he would have started at the beginning of the game, we might have lost. Seriously, to the Falcons. Man, that guy, we couldn't. I think did he drive down every time he was in there in the second half? Or majority of the times anyway. And they scored a lot there in the second half. I felt very.
It was like field goal, touchdown, field goal.
He was moving the ball,
and he was moving the ball at the end. It just kind of got away from. I guess Jefferson got through his hands there.
Oh, unfortunate hometown guy, and where his dad used to play.
Yeah,
the Atlanta,
Tennessee Falcons.
There you go.
Trade deadline stuff. So Josh Dobbs has been sent to the Vikings. Minnesota traded a lineman, Ezra Cleveland, to the Jags. Chase Young to the 49ers. Also, Montez Sweat to Chicago. So the Command Skins' new ownership was like, hey, man, it's over. This is telling everybody this is over. These are 2 guys who can terrorize. Their defensive line is so terrifying, and this is them saying, we're going to try to be good next year or the year after next. This is new ownership saying, we're not re-signing these dudes for what they're going to make. Sorry.
Dang,
we know you're playing because they're playing their butts off.
They traded both
of those guys. Yep.
Man. Oh, I'm wondering what they're thinking.
They thinking what's that, a second-round pick and a third-round pick? Is that right, Joseph? One went for a second, one went for a third.
Yes, for Montez Sweat and Chase Young, yeah.
What was Sweat anyway? Was he a second-rounder or first-round?
He's first. Oh, Montez Sweat. Ooh.
That was I remember him because he went to Mississippi State, correct?
That sounds right. The NFL actually tweeted, I know who it was, a picture of Bosa and
Predator.
Chase Young. In their Ohio State uniforms together. So reunited. And that gave me like, oh.
Yeah, he was a first rounder,
okay.
2019.
What pick was he?
He was pick 26.
Yeah, he was close, yeah. Because I remember I was hoping that the Titans drafted him. I don't remember who we took who did we take in 2019? I think obviously that meant I thought
that would have been
needed a
was that
defensive end.
That was the AJ Brown draft in the second round.
AJ
so,
Brown was not in the first round.
So the first rounder would that have been Big Jeff?
I don't know. I don't remember 2019. Come on, Mickey. You're supposed to know 2019. Ooh.
Yeah, come on. I've slept since then. I can tell you who got drafted like 1973.
It was Big Jeff. Yeah.
It was Big
That's
Jeff.
a good call.
Okay, because they were teammates.
Yeah.
Weren't they teammates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. Big Jeff went 19th overall, so they could have got Montez Sweat, but they chose to go with Big Jeff.
That's when John Robinson got addicted to value. Because he's like, wait a second. If this dude has 2 good knees, he's like top 5 pick, Jeff. So I'm going to get him at what, 19? Because his leg's not healed yet? I'm Caleb Farley, he's broken 100 different ways. Back, knee. I'm going to get a real good deal on him.
Was that the start of the John Robinson, I'm going to draft injured players as much as possible?
Again, I think he just got whatever seemed like value. Even Panda. Because if you look at who was drafted around Panda, because I thought they should just take anybody else, there's kind of a gap of guys in that draft where, like, that guy didn't really make it. That guy's not a starter. I think it's like they thought, here's a huge guy. If you can just get him right, this is a 10-year offensive line starter. And we can do it because we're a serious organization and no knuckleheads. And then he got in here and, like, crashed his car in the intersection and tried to jump off a balcony. They did that. I think COVID hurt Panda as much as anybody because he just wasn't around anybody. He just had to go and just live his own life. COVID. I'm going to blame COVID. I need something.
I was curious to say because that's
a stretch.
Because every other team's player.
I just think he needed direction. He needed to be around people.
He needed around people.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he was around people when he was on that boat throwing that money around.
Well, that money's got to have run out. I mean,
he was up there throwing Joseph's money all over the place, man.
He's got a rap career now.
Oh, no, that is not true.
He's got about the same rap career as Coach Mack, and Coach Mack is going to rap with us about the Titans next.
Bye.
All right. It's about to be a new year, right? I've been telling you about PAI, about WeGrowHair.com, well, not just for this year, but all of the years. And when this year started, I said, look, it's 2023. Make this your year, right? You get things, maybe you start that workout program or you take that trip to Monte Carlo or whatever it is. You buy season tickets to something. I don't know. This is the year that you make it your year. The other thing is you get your hair back. But you still haven't done any of that stuff. Men, women, if you're dealing with hair loss, there's technology out there. It's crazy to just live with something you don't want, and nobody wants hair loss. Nobody loves looking in the mirror and seeing less hair. That's where PAI comes in. They've been in business here for over a quarter of a century. They've been helping people. They're like hair coaches. You go in, they'll even give you a free coaching clinic for free on your own hair, but you got to call to get the free private consultation. Look, they've got different technology, different strategies work for different people, but they got them, and they got something that'll work for you. You'll look like you used to look. You'll feel like you used to feel. Get with them now. Permanent natural results from the company you can trust, PAI Medical Group, WeGrowHair.com. Call today, 615-376-6010.
"40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
It is the return of the Mac. Dave McGinnis jumping in here with us on this Halloween episode of Blaine and Mickey. By the way, happy Halloween. And remember, there'll be a bunch of little dudes and dudettes running around not paying attention to you as you drive home tonight. So pay attention to them. Coach Mac jumps in with us, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, Middle Tennessee's most trusted local Ford dealership for 40 years. Coach Mac, when you were a young Coach Mac, what was your favorite thing to dress up as at Halloween, and what was your favorite candy?
Well, first of all, back when I was growing up, you could stay out till about midnight on Halloween.
Woo!
You could walk all the neighborhoods, and everybody felt safe. And of course, the small town that I grew up in, everybody knew you. So even though you had a skeleton outfit on, they knew who you were. but you could. I mean, it was some great memories of doing that. My favorite was always anything that was chocolate with peanut butter in it, and that's different variations of everything that all the candy manufacturers are putting out. But I would say anything that get a brand name that Reese's had going on then, I would always try to trade my brother and sister for all the Reese's they gathered.
Coach Mac, our guest. Well, we wondered if we would get tricked or treated in Will Levis's debut, but got some pretty good treats from that rascal, Coach, in his NFL first ever game.
Well, I mean, he's been marinating, for a while up here. And, of course, I just stepped away from the practice field, to jump on here with you guys. So I get to watch practice every day and in there and then able to watch, the development of all the young players. And they work hard up here as a coaching staff and as an organization to develop these young players, even during in-season practices. I think we had a discussion on this a couple of weeks ago about even if you're running the scout team, you're still doing the reads that you would do with your same nomenclature, not just, parroting things that you see on a card. I mean, it's all about development, but you never know until you get in the ball game. And you can do all the preseason stuff you want. You can play in all the preseason games you want, but until you actually get in a game that has some meaning, and I would say that this weekend was a game that had quite a bit of meaning to it. He absolutely stepped up and was able to, and I thought, conducted himself, pretty much like a veteran quarterback. And you could see that the team also had a lot of faith in him and had a lot of belief in him, just from some of the videos you see now of the sideline reactions when the plays were going really, really well out there on offense. But it's the first step. There's going to be tough times ahead, just like there are for any rookie player. But I would say that debut was pretty auspicious. It was a lot of fun to watch. I know that.
Sure was. Coach Mac, our guest here again, courtesy of the good folks at Two Rivers Ford.
Well, Coach, we all knew, and you've been at practice more than anybody, watching Will Levis and his arm talent. But to actually go out there and execute in the game and looking like the cool customer, I'm interested to see him have, some form of a failure, how he responds to adversity, and to see what he does, because everything leads to he's going to be still that cool customer. I don't know that until I know it in the game, man. How impressed were you? And then how do you think he'll handle some form of adversity at some point in time?
Well, I promise you, Mike Tomlin, this. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers will have some adversity ready for him. Especially up there on Thursday night. They will have Renegade by Sticks cranked up to about 10 on a volume up there. So this thing it's going to be rolling. So, yeah, I mean, but that's all part of it. You have to know that the next challenge is always going to be the bigger challenge. And now, plus, this was the first time teams have had a chance to get on tape anything about his game. And so now all of a sudden you're going to have to step your game up to match what their preparation is going to be for you, and still be able to perform at a high level now on the road, in a hostile environment. I mean, it's all part of the growth process. So you are correct in this, and I think we both agree with this, because you and I have been around this league a long time. Deep inside of what it takes in this league, there's going to be some tougher times ahead of him. And how he reacts to it is really going to be very, very important.
Well, one thing about the game, it's all about Levis, the O-line protection, and D-line really stepping up and playing to the level of the compensation they're getting, especially Big Jeff there with 2 sacks and a caused fumble. But one key play in this game that's kind of, been overlooked a little bit. I don't know about you. What you thought of was the fake punt. It kind of got us going there a little bit, Coach. Mm-hmm. Would you have gone for it on your side of the field on 4th down in a fake punt?
Yeah, if If I knew it was going to work.
Hey, that was close, Coach. I don't know, man. He got about a chinny chin chin, man. I don't know.
But you could tell though that this football team,
Well
this
prepared.
organization knew what and plus they knew what the impact of this last weekend was, to the overall totality of what this season is, and so absolutely. So the thing that I think, Blaine, that came out of that was this was really a nice complementary game in all three phases. It really was, because it was not a completely clean game by all three phases. But when one phase was not as clean, say we were jumping off sides or that we had penalties that would set us back, then we were able to counteract it with, just like the turnover in the plus territory, and all of a sudden you stand up on a sudden change and make them kick a field goal rather than letting them get in the end zone. So I really thought that all three phases, and the cover teams I thought were excellent in being able to flip the field. And then, one of the better plays in the game, I said it on the broadcast, was when Craig Ackerman, decided to pooch kick it, to Jonnu Smith. It was one of those wing returners back there rather than kicking it to Cordarrelle Patterson, who's going to come screaming back up the field and has returned so many of those touchdowns on kick returns in his career. I think the whole thing kind of worked hand in glove in this ball game to get us a really, really nice win. But it was complimentary football. But I still think the Titans as a group can play better. I mean, they can, and that's what the head coach said. And so that's where you know that you've got something working, is when you don't play at your best, win an important ball game, but still have a lot of corrections to make.
Yeah, it'd be remiss that we don't talk about Stonehouse's rocket launching of a leg there, his bombs that he was having there. I think one of them was almost 70 yards or something like that, Coach. Is that right? Or 60
Well,
yards?
I mean, and plus all the kicks inside the 20 were huge. And inside, and look, this guy has done nothing but, since he's come on the scene in the National Football League for the Titans, has been somebody that has stood out in the league. But him being able to flip the field, I mean, and really both punters in the game. I mean, their punter kicked one about 70 yards too. So it was a field position game. You knew it was going to be that, but both of those guys stood up to the pressure of the moment too. I agree with you.
Well, Coach, I have to ask you before I give it back to the mixer, and that is, what did you think about the alumni weekend in tribute to the Houston Oilers and now the Tennessee Titans? I jokingly but realistically was thinking this one's for Bud because that was pretty awesome, at least from my point of view.
Well, I think you're 100% right. You know how hard Amy Adams-Strunk and Kenneth Adams and Barkley Adams have worked to get, the Oilers and the Titans history tied in together. And I thought it was the whole weekend. I was up here on Saturday, with all the group. I mean, it was absolutely fabulous. Spent a lot of time this morning on the second floor down here looking through all the pictures, that were taken. And I mean, what a weekend. And then also not only just bringing those guys back, but seeing how much they appreciate being recognized and being part of what's going on here. Because as you well know, you were part of the group. You were an Oiler in Houston, and when you first moved here, that wasn't embraced, very much. Now it's very much so, and those guys were so appreciative. I think there were about an even number, what I was told today, of Titans and of Oilers. So you've got about 80 to 85 in each era that were here, and so the mixture of that, and they had 3 wonderful days. I mean, it was really cool to be a part of it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then let's just say this: when you win a ball game and everything is pointed towards the ball game, and then you win one like that in those uniforms that are as sweet as they've ever been. I mean, those things just pop, and they always have. And so the whole thing had a great feel to it. Now you need to use that impetus to move forward. But the weekend, I think, was a massive success. Major kudos to this organization, and especially to Amy Adams-Strunk and to Kenneth and Barkley for putting that all together, because that was a massive effort that the entire Titans organization was involved in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Even the event at Top Golf, which I was able to attend there on Saturday night, which, seeing all the guys man, was really, really cool. And, when I was a young buck and they kind of schooled me and brought me in and, and then I had to prove myself and all those things just kind of went through my mind, just giving them hugs and laughing. And then seeing some of the guys who transitioned also here to Tennessee was awesome to see. And the swag bags and all of, man, the ownership is putting out a whole bunch of money there, man, with the food, golf. I mean, it was really, really cool. I think she topped herself from last year, which was hard to top.
Yeah, and Blaine, you've got a really unique perspective because you bridge both of those eras. You really do, and so I mean, you come from a great perspective on it. And as I say, I know just in talking to the guys up here on Saturday how much everybody from all those eras appreciated it, and I love hearing those stories about top golf. I know one thing. I know everybody was swinging as hard as they could. They weren't even trying to score. They're trying to hit it out of the fence. I know what all y'all were doing.
Yeah. I you know what? The person I was looking forward to, I got to see both of them actually. Webster Slaughter and Ernest Givens, because I was playing mostly slot at my rookie year. And so they would school me about, so much in the, mini camps and then training camp. And by the time in the training camp, they start saying, hey, man, you getting better. And it just gave me so much confidence because I put so much work into getting better and changing my body immediately after mini camp because I was like, oh, man, I've been lifting too much weight. I need to get a little more pliable, a little more flexible so I can change directions with these guys. They were stopping on a dime. And then to see Ernest Givens with his, his touchdown shake and his dance and his slide. So I told him, give me one more time.
Well, let me say this before we move on. Those guys, they had to also be very proud of what your career turned out to be and know that they had a small part in helping you out.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. I can see it in their face, man. They just gave me big hugs, man. It was pretty awesome to see, man. We're on with Coach Mack, giving us the Mack Attack.
So this got me curious, Coach. Blaine asked you about the fake punt by the Titans, and, you said, I love it when it works. What's it like in a film session where you see something and think, holy crap, here's our opportunity? Like in this case, this was something that was seen, that was schemed, and was planned. If you see this particular look, then run the fake. What's it like to find something like that in a league like the NFL where it would seem like it was really hard to find something like that?
Well, I mean, that's what you do as a coach. I mean, you're always looking for tells. You're always looking for an edge. You've heard Blaine and I talk a lot about bird-rabbit keys, throughout some of our conversations, having the players study film. But look, when you find it as a coach, and then what you do is you bring another coach in and you say, hey, I see this, see if you see the same thing, and then you bring the head coach in on it. And then when you present it to the team, you sell it. You don't sell it. You say, hey, if we get this look, you don't hem and haw about it. You say, if they give us this look, we are doing this. And this will work, and let's make it work. I've been involved in that before. I don't know if you remember when I was with the Rams, we had that one punt return that called the Mountaineer, where we had our returner go to one side, follow the ball. The ball, we had another return on the other side, drew the coverage. It was against the Seahawks. I mean, we completely, as Blaine would say, bamboozled them. And the other one, the other returner caught it and took it to the house for a huge win there against Seattle before the Rams were ever beating anybody in that NFC West. And so, but when you see it, but the key is during the week when you work on it, and then you say, if the look is there, we are going to do it. You don't hem and haw and say, yeah, but, maybe, if, and, but, so that your players have confidence in it too and know we got this look, we've practiced it, we'll make it work, and they did.
What's it like in a building on trade deadline day? I mean, even if nobody really knows what's going to happen, is there like a little bit of extra nervousness, or do people just try to keep it business as usual? But I would imagine at least some guys, it would have to be in the back of their mind that they could be dealt.
Yeah, well, you really don't have time with a short week like we're on up here. But say in a normal week, I mean, yeah, you have an idea if you're one of the because your representation always is in tune with what's going on, but none of it really matters until a call is made. And I've been on the end. As I worked my way through the ranks in the National Football League as a decision maker, I was sometimes charged with making the calls, and then at times I was receiving the calls. And so it's got to be something that is there can't be too many people involved in it before anything ever comes to culmination. But really, when you've been in the league long enough, and players learn pretty quickly that this is a business and that their business is to get prepared to play the next game and do as well as they can, because that's what their careers depend on, and not worrying about all the other factors that can affect your career when you in fact have a game to get ready for. That's been my take of it for all the 3 decades I was in a building during trade time.
We'd never trade Coach Mack. Love having him every Tuesday here on Blaine and Mickey.
He's the people's coach. Coach, I guess give us the breakdown, and only you could do this. Offense, defense, and special team of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give us the 4-1-1.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a defensive team. Have you ever known a Pittsburgh team that's not a defensive football team?
Yeah,
and they are the same way right now. Ever since Mike Tomlin's been up there, he has really has perpetuated the physical nature of what the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise has always been. This year is no different. They got Highsmith and Watt out there on the edges. This defense is a very, very physical defense. I don't know if Big Hayward's going to play or not. If he does, it really helps them, because that dude, even at an advanced point in his career, is a line wrecker, up front. Offensively, the issue has been they want to run the football, and they're going to continue to do that. They've got, with Deontay Johnson and with Pickens, they've got guys that they can really throw the ball deep to. They've had some issues protecting their quarterback. Now they've got a quarterback that's got a little bit of a rib problem, so we still don't know who their quarterback is going to be. But the other thing that, I'm glad that we talked about the special teams earlier going into this thing. Danny Smith is their special teams coach that's been in the league for over 30 years. So you've got to be ready for anything special teams wise, and you've got to really be on your P's and Q's as a special teams, being alert for anything that they will do, because he's a very, very, very experienced special teams coach, and Mike Tomlin trusts him a lot. So it's a huge challenge. Plus, you've played up there before. When they were in the division. You know what the environment is up there, and especially a night game that's a national game. I used to love it and look forward to this type of atmosphere because it's different. And so here we go.
Got to live for it, Coach. I guess one more thing, and I want to talk about the quarterbacks. I know Pickett said he's going to start. I know he had a rib injury, but kind of talk a little bit about the difference between him and Trubisky in this game, and how they go about their business a little bit differently based off, their years in the league.
Well, Trubisky's a little bit a bigger guy, clearly, a little more physical guy. I think what Pickett's a dealer. That's what he was at Pitt. When he was playing there, he was a dealer. Don't care how big his hands are. The guy understands the game and understands, the nuances of playing there. Trubisky is a big athlete that has probably never quite played up to on a consistent basis what his athleticism at the position is, but he's a smart guy, and so he has been successful enough to be around and to make you feel good about the fact that if he is your backup quarterback, that you can still make your offense work with him. And I think the reason that they chose Kenny Pickett to begin with is because he's a little bit more nuanced as a quarterback, as to where Trubisky is a big physical, athletic dude that maybe is not quite as nuanced as Pickett is.
Gotcha, Coach.
Coach, fantastic stuff. Thursday night, we'll be listening to you and Mike Keith and Rhett and the crew on the call, and Ramon, going to be awesome. We know you guys will have a good trip up to Pittsburgh, and hopefully come back with a win and a 500 football team.
Yeah, come back with a yellow towel, too.
Yes, sir.
I dare you.
He's like, nope, not going to fall into that trap lane.
Wait a minute. Now, on the team plane, on the chart, I sit with Ramon Foster, so if I bring a towel back, I don't think I'd make it back alive.
Oh, my.
Do that.
Coach,
they need Ramon out there, too, by the way.
Happy Halloween. I hope you get some Reese Cups tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
See you.
The one and only Coach Mack wrapping it up here with us. All right, we'll wrap it up with you when we come back. Trade stuff still out there. Trade deadline. You got about 18 more minutes if you're going to make something happen. Tony the Stud has also been on hold. Let's hear from Tony on Halloween. Rappaport reporting another deal. We'll tell you what that is next, too.
Stinky, stinky, stinky Is that what it was like the last time you were at an auto repair shop? Smelly, greasy, old rags laying around all over the place. A countertop that would you not dare touch. Another thing that stinks is the repair shops that keep your car forever and they're not honest and they don't call you back when they say they will. Or was your last experience like this at a vehicle repair shop? Well, hey, it's Blaine Bishop to tell you about Eurofix. And Eurofix takes the stink out of European auto repair. On a Eurofix, you get a free 15-minute, no-wrench inspection with an estimate at every visit, not high-pressure sales tactics. At Eurofix, you also get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And you never pay the dealer prices. If you want to go to Eurofix, it's located in Franklin, Hunted Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com. But always tell them Blaine said you.
Blaine and Mickey, 1045 The Zone. If you're trying to make a trade, you are under some pressure right now because you got to get that sucker sent into the NFL in less than 12 minutes. About 11 minutes. You got to say, here's everything, right? Because I think you can't just call them and say, like, hey, Joseph and Blaine are making a trade. We'll get it. Nope. You got to send them everything by 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
All ashore. Who's coming ashore? Rasul Douglas going to the Bills from the Packers. A third to the Packers, Rasul Douglas, and a fifth rounder to the Bills.
Cornerback.
Yes, sir. Let's get Tony the Stud in here on this Halloween. Tony the Stud, what's going on, man? Thanks for your patience.
Oh, man, it's gotten cold outside, so I've got a pot of chili on the stove right now, and I'm getting ready to indulge in that. And I tell you what, it's going to be just about as good as what I think we saw on Sunday, yeah?
That was about as much fun as people have had at Nissan Stadium in a long time, watching those footballs be in the air for 4 or 5 seconds that Will Levis was throwing from his cannon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been one of the guys. I've been very public about it. I was very, very happy with the drafting of Will Levis. I know a lot of my friends and a lot of Titans fans weren't, and I'm a huge Ryan Tannehill fan. But it's time to turn the page. That is some of the most accurate rookie throws I think that I have seen in my life. I'll be 35 next week. I don't know if I've seen the accuracy that he has, and it was incredible. It's just incredible to see. Ryan's getting older. He's not as mobile as he was, and just Will was good. His arm strength is so ridiculous. I mean, I listened to it all day yesterday about his arm strength. But my biggest thing for the whole Titans thing is what was he number 3 on the depth chart for? That's what's been eating at me so far this last 24 hours is if he was able to perform that good, what were we missing that had him as number 3? I just want to give you all my chill for Halloween, and then I'm out of here.
Okay.
It gave me chills on Halloween. If you have not seen the NFL Films on X yet, formerly known as Twitter, NFL Films put out a video of Jeffrey Simmons calling Will Levis, that's a quarterback. That's a guy. That's a dude. And you listen to Coach Mack on the radio, and he says, whoa, what an arm. That gives me chills on Halloween. I'm very excited for Thursday. Love y'all's show. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother. We talked about this some earlier in the week, Blaine. I think another caller called in.
Yeah.
And you said he got hurt in the preseason. He couldn't compete for the job, right?
Yeah, because he only played the Bears game?
Only in the Bears game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So through injuries, not available, and then he had to work his way back. And then the season started, so it was kind of, they just ran out of time to show. And then I think his one of the few practices there, he threw 3 touchdowns. Then the next day he came back and threw 3 interceptions. And that's because, looking back on it now, he believes in his arm. He can make every throw. So you saw the arm talent there at practice every day. He had the best arm on the team. I mean, he was the best player. He just needed to get some experience. And
right.
Just ran out of time. And the coaches did the right thing by keeping him where he was until he got actually fully healthy. Got to earn it.
And the timing of the bye week, it just couldn't have been better for him. Tannehill got hurt. Somebody else was going to play, and that gave them a bye week and a game week to essentially get whomever ready, him or Willis. But it was, we found out it was going to be him, Rap Sheeter, whoever reported it. One of the 49ers, Mike Herndon just retweeted this. One of the 49ers reporters, Tim Kawakami, reported about 30 minutes ago, the 49ers are closing in on another trade. I don't know who it's for, but it seems like they've got one more coming.
Oh.
So, again, 7 minutes and change away. So by the time the 3HL folks hit the airways, all of you will start to hear, like, everything that's still percolating out there. But it's all got to happen soon if it's going to happen. Oh, there's our music. So,
oh, man.
I'm
you
scanning
think it has something
hard.
to do with the 49ers and the Titans? 49ers? Oh, who knows? Better stay tuned. That's 3HL's next.
That's true. They got you the rest of the way home. They'll tell you what breaks.
But in the meantime,
in between time, peace.